Welcome to this video. We're going to try and get a Windows 7 machine networking with a Mac running OS X. So I've got my Windows 7 machine here. This is the machine in front of me, just your average Windows 7 i5. It's got a network device on it here, just using IPv4. Using fixed addresses, but you can use auto if you want, it's fine. Okay, so this is the Windows PC. This is the Mac, running, just tried to right click, about this Mac. Just an old MacBook, yeah, Core 2 Duo running 10.7.5, but it would apply, this tutorial would apply to pretty well all versions of OS X. Now, what we want to do is first check our network settings on both machines. So on the Mac, we'll go to network. Cool, we got a green light. We're on this address here. And going back to the Windows machine, we're on 09. So the Mac's 042. And the Windows machine is 09. So that's cool. We can see we're both on roughly the same network. We've got similar addresses. Let's get into sharing settings on the Windows machine. Go to Network and Sharing Center. Just in case you missed it, it's there. Go to Advanced Sharing Settings. Before I was in Adapter Settings, that's for doing things like IP address settings, that kind of thing. But where you want to be, sorry, where am I? Where you want to be for sharing settings is here on the left, Advanced Sharing Settings. Now, this is file and printer sharings for Windows. So doing the Windows one first, you want to have turn on network discovery. You want to turn on file and printer sharing. That's off by default. That's bad. You want to turn it on. You also want public folder sharing to be on. Media streaming can be off. We're not going to use that. Looking down, we're not using 128-bit encryption. I don't think that's compatible with OS X, so to maintain compatibility with both OS X and Windows XP machines, I like to use the bottom one, so 40 or 56-bit encryption. Just make sure that's ticked. Password protecting sharing. I guess you can turn this on. I like to have it off. I can't really see the point if we're all on the same network anyway. And home group connections. Don't use home group because that'll confuse the hell out of Mac and Windows XP. Instead, use traditional user accounts. Save that. You'll probably have to log off to apply that. Now, I've already set that, so I don't have to. Let's go over to the Mac and see what we've got on the Mac. So this is like the control panel of the Mac. There's network settings, which I showed you on Windows before. This is a similar way of doing it. You can do manual or whatever. Just stick with DHCP. I'll cancel that so I don't get booted out. Don't apply. Okay, so network's there. How do I get out of this thing? And we want to go into our sharing settings, which is here on the right hand side. Now under sharing settings, I've enabled remote management. That lets me VNC into this, which is pretty cool. File sharing is what you want to set up though. Now, there are different protocols you can use. To look at all the different ones, hit options on the Mac. And the one that you want to check is SMB. You remember how on the Windows machine, I'll just show you. Oh geez, where is it? Networking. I can't be bothered. I'm just going to type it in. Yeah, that's the easy way. Cool. So on the Windows machine, we had user accounts. Now, we both have to use user accounts. So on the Mac, you can see it uses users here. So we want to enable that. There's no password for Lounge Room. Done. Lounge Room is the name of my account. Hit done. Now, if you have a look at here, Lounge Room is the name of my computer. Oh, and up here is how to change the computer name. So that's a bit of a mouthful. I'm just going to change that to MacBook. MacBook. Cool. So it's saying here that you can get to it through AFP, but Windows doesn't support AFP. Or you could, on Windows actually, if you just type in // and that IP address, and it should get in. Let's try that on the Windows machine. So we've set that. It was 42 if I remember correctly, so you can go // 192. You can actually see it here, but I want to type this in 192.168.0.42. Whoops, that broke it. Did I use? Yeah, I used the wrong slash. So I could actually just go down to MacBook. That's probably a lot easier. Now, you remember I told you my username was Lounge Room? Let's try that. Lounge space room. And there's no password, so I'm just going to do that. Domain is Neon, because the name of this Windows machine is Neon, and it's connecting from the Windows machine, so it just uses the machine name. So yeah, just chuck your username in there, no password, go. Sweet. So now we see some shares. Now Movie Disc is a bunch of movies which I have on the Mac, because it's like my lounge room computer. So let's have a look at those shares. Lounge Room's public folder. How do I set up shares? Let's have a go. It's not a network. Maybe we do it on a folder basis. Let's have a go. Okay. So here's how we do sharing on a Mac. I've obviously set it up here through sharing and permissions. So to get there, that was, I just found the folder that I want to share. You can do it here or there, it doesn't really matter. You right click and you go get info. It'll bring up this, for lack of a better word, properties window, but it's like the info window. And from there you've got these different users. So Couch Potato staff and everyone can, well, Couch Potato can read and write, staff can read and write, and everyone can read only. If you want to modify permissions, you can click on the cog. Oh no, you can drop that down. What are the cogs for? Can you add? Oh, yeah, cool. You can add new people there. Well, that's neat. So yeah, that's sharing permissions for a folder or a drive. That's an external drive with some docos and TV series and movies on it. So that's cool. Let's do a similar thing on Windows and then use the Mac to look at our Windows machine, hey? So we'll go back to our computer, on the hard drive, new folder. We'll call this shared win files. Cool. And just make a new document there that we can see. Cool. So we've got a folder with a file in it. Nice. Now let's say we want to share that. You want to right click. Sorry, this is in Windows, by the way, just not to confuse you. You want to right click on your Windows 7 machine. There's a few ways you could get there. You could go properties and go sharing. And then I know it sounds scary, but advanced sharing is quite a lot easier. And from there you can go permissions, and you've got all kinds of cool controls there. Caching, hey? Yeah, don't mess around with that. But yeah, to share this on the simplest kind of way, you just go, this is the way I like to do it. Select it, right click, share with specific people, everyone, add everyone, and everyone can read write. If you got someone there you don't want, then you can always remove them. But there's not a lot of point because I'm included in everyone. Share it, done, cool. So after you're done, you can check it if you want. You can see, hey, yeah, it's got a network path. So on the Mac, if you want to get there, you could go to this path. Thing is, on the Mac, it hasn't got Windows file sharing built into it, so... Oh, look at that. Look, so you can actually see the computer there, so you could just click on it. And voila, you can get into it. So that's definitely one way. In fact, you know what? Stuff the other way. That's the easiest way. Just do it this way. And I'll open it. You can write from Mac, file. Oh, what's happening? What on earth is going on? You don't have permanent version storage. Really? Can I make a folder? It looks like I have write permission because I can make a new folder. I don't have permanent version, whatever that is. Save a version. Could be some weird text edit thing. Anywho, let's look at it on the Windows machine and see what we get. Go back here on the Windows machine. Yeah. So we had a bit of a drama with the carriage return, but that's fine. You can clearly write to this file. So there we have it. I just want to, for a bit of revision, bring up the key areas that I use. The easy way to get to there, by the way, is I select it, right click, properties, brings up this thing, and you go advanced sharing settings. And that's where all these settings are. So turn on network discovery, on file and print sharing, on sharing. If you turn that off, it's just no public users can get in, turns into a bit of a pain. Leave media streaming off, we're not using it. Very important to only use 40 or 56-bit encryption, that might mess you up there. If you're using Mac or Windows XP, turn off password protected sharing if you don't care about security and you just want it to work. And use user accounts because that's how we did it. We typed in lounge room and got in. So just make sure all these are like you see here. So yeah. Cool. So that's that. And going back to the Mac, sharing, file sharing, options, make sure SMB is on. When you enable SMB sharing for a user account, you must enter the password for that account. Sharing files with Windows computers requires storing the Windows user account password on this computer in a less secure manner. Okay, don't worry about security, we're on the same network anyway. If you're really worried, you probably wouldn't even be on the same network or VLAN, so yeah, you shouldn't be too worried about security at this point, you just want to make it work. And yeah, of course, don't forget to tick this box and make sure it's on and type in a password if you have one. And set your permissions here, and on a Mac, similar to Windows, just go to the folder that you want. Sorry, I'm confusing you. Go to Okay, go to any old folder and go get info. Yep. And it's not going to let me share it because it's a shortcut. Alright, that's cool. Go to documents, get info, sharing. Cool. So couch potato can read and write that. Everyone has no access. If you want, you can make read only, and that would enable everyone to get read only access to your documents. Okay, so I hope this has helped you out somewhat. Thank you for watching.